All right, so DDP and Izzy have been offered this fight, and Chael is running that, and so I'm running it. Check this. We got a lot more to talk about this, by the way. A lot more than just they've been offered, but check.
Now, DDP beating Strickland, I can tell you, I can confirm for you, DDP has been offered Izzy at 300. Izzy has been offered DDP at 300. I can personally tell you that happened.
Okay, so if he could personally tell you that happened, then it happened, man. It happened. And so that tells you that one of the forthcoming double main event fights is probably going to be this one. What do you double main event? We'll get to that in a second, dude. We'll get to that in a second. What else do you think it's going to be? I think it's going to be Pereira and Aspinall. Either maybe that one, maybe, or maybe Chandler and Connor. The only thing I've ever heard anyone say about why it would not be Chandler and Connor is they're like, dude, with that fight, they know they're going to sell a mountain of pay-per-views either way. And I was like, that's true. And they're like, so why would they use it on 300? I'm like, man, that would be that's a great test of the UFC. If they could get UFC 300 and have them on it, would they sacrifice a seven, at least you would think it would still sell a million pay-per-views, even though everybody steals them now. But like, you got to figure a Conor McGregor pay-per-view sells a million. Like, would they give that up, to put it on 300 and give the fans the best possible card ever? Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, so there's more to talk about because like I said, it's infuriating. I'm going to tell you a story in a second about how I knew that there was probably a double main event, coming up at UFC 300, or at least how I put that in my video yesterday. Then I had to take it down, which is absolutely infuriating. I'll tell you that in a second. But first, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, because I love you guys and I appreciate it. And like this video and tell your friends. All right, so DDP and Israel Adesanya have been offered the main event for UFC 300. But I don't know if one or both of them have signed yet, but we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about a video that I did yesterday where we talked about, where I did a video because I said that Dana said that there's going to be a double co-main event for UFC 300. And I got that from this video that you're looking at right here. And I didn't, for once, I took a shortcut and didn't include the video that I was taking my news from because I had no time. I was going to jiu-jitsu. I'm like, I'll just say it and I'll just put it up. I get to jiu-jitsu, the video's off to the races, and then I looked at the comments and someone's all, this is just a straight up lie. If you commented yesterday, this is not even clickbait, this is just a straight up lie, I saw your comment. And then so I was like, wait, what? So I went and looked, and I looked all over the place, and I'm like, wait, Dana didn't announce this? I got that from, and it was too late. I pinned this comment, and I'm like, oh my God. So I had to change the title, and then YouTube smashed the reach, and so I put it in members only. But we're going to watch it right now because this is where I got the double main event. And then now I also, in that video, said that one of the fights was BS. One of them was real, and one of them was BS. The Alex Pereira against, against Tom Aspinall. I said that one's probably real. And I said the Hamzat against Izzy one is probably BS. And actually, I said I would bet my life on it being BS. Is actually exactly what I said. But here's what I saw yesterday, and then we're going to talk about DDP and Israel Adesanya and why that fight's happening, so on and so forth, etc. Check it.
It was leaked a few days ago that Dana White may be working on an interim heavyweight title fight between Alex Pereira and Tom Aspinall after Stipe Miocic and John Jones declined to participate in the UFC 300 event to face Aspinall. As the fight between Pereira and Aspinall has not been finalized, no further information is available. Now, another fight has been announced that the UFC is working on in parallel, and that is a matchup between Israel Adesanya and Khamzat Chimaev, as some news websites have been speculating for weeks.
So as you can see in that video, it says, double main event in the works, UFC 300, and the title of the video is MMA Community Reacts to Dana White's UFC 300 main event report. So yeah, I put up Dana White announces double main event for UFC 300, and then said these are the two fights that are apparently in the works. However, one of them is total BS. And I was right, because now we find out that Israel Adesanya and DDP have been offered bout agreements for UFC 300. And I'm telling you, that is not going to be the only fight on the main event. There will be another one. That double main event, I guarantee that's true. And I bet you that's not even the last one, dude. It's UFC 300, man. They're going to come hard, dude. And so that is what it is. I mean, he's been trying to work this fight he's been trying to make this fight forever. And I said the reason why I knew Izzy versus Khamzat was nonsense is because I'm like, there's no way that they're going to risk Izzy and DDP again. They won't do it, dude. They're not going to risk that fight. And why would they? They're going to give him one of the worst possible stylistic matchups of all time for Izzy. If Izzy loses a second time in a row, then he loses all of these fights. He loses the Strickland fight. He loses the DDP fight. There's absolutely no way they're doing that for a non-title bout for UFC 300. It's impossible. So Colby Covington's foot is a balloon. He has released x-rays of his broken foot, and he is saying that that's why he lost the fight. And everybody's like, what do you guys think? Dude, I guess that explains everything. Or people are like, who cares? And I'm like, are you guys serious? That's your takeaway? Like, why don't we talk about why he's doing this? Because why do you think Colby just put that out? It's been a long time since that fight, dude. Why would he just be putting this out now? If he broke his foot, he would have the x-rays immediately after. Are these x-rays real? I don't have any idea, but I could tell you if they are real, why he's putting them out now. I could tell you if they're fake, why he's putting them out now, because the answer is going to be the same, okay? Answer going to be the same. Colby is you know what? Let me rewind. Colby understands news cycles, all right? That's what's going on here. He understands news cycles. And there is a story that hit the news this week that he did not want people to be paying attention to. That is why I think it's fair to say he turned down the Shavkat fight, okay? I think he was offered the Shavkat fight. I think he turned it down. I think people started talking about him turning down the Shavkat fight. And so he was like, I am a master at PR now. And so he went out and he changed the conversation. He started talking about his foot is a balloon. And he put out the x-ray. And that way, when people talk about Colby Covington, instead of talking about whether or not he's going to fight Shavkat because he's intelligently avoiding that fight because he should, right? Then now they're talking about his foot was a balloon. And they're arguing about that. I don't think people understand how big of a deal management of that type of thing is in this business, you know? Because bottom line, if you just are like, oh, you know, the media just, if the media is just something that happens and you don't try to control it, then you are blowing it, dude. Like, I don't expect like lots and lots and lots of guys to be operating at that level because it's not like it's an easy thing to do. But once you get a certain amount of notoriety, you can control the media cycle, you know, like just bottom line, you can control the media cycle. And that way, when stories hit that you don't want, you can drown them with a new story. Like, this is simple, dude. All you had to do was just change the narrative. Oh, he's turning down the Shavkat fight. Well, what? Wait, what about Colby Covington? Oh, he says that his foot was broken. They're like, oh, cool. Wait, so Colby's foot. You literally, like, human beings can't have two stories in their brain at the same time. I mean, like, that's not based on science, but it is certainly based on how you can manage news cycles, because you would think theoretically that you'd also, you'd be able to say like, oh, did you know Colby broke his foot, during the Leon fight and he put out x-rays and like, do you guys think they're real? And simultaneously be like, okay, Colby's number 5 now and Shavkat's number 3 and Colby's turning that fight down. Like, does that seem like a person who wants to be champion, or does that seem like someone who is actually trying to juke the system here? He's trying to juke the system. Because there's intelligent, fight career management. But if you want to be the champion and you're number 5 and you've lost, certainly lost the last one, and he's coming off beating Masvidal, but then before that, he's coming off losses. It's like, let me see. So he's definitely lost 2 of his last 3, right? Colby Covington. So he has lost 2 of his last 3 and 3 of his last 5. He's 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Going back to 2019. Dude. He's 2-3. And they're giving him basically what would be a title eliminator against Shavkat. He's turning it down. Think about that, dude. Think about that. I mean, assuming he's turning it down, I would certainly say it would be the right move to turn it down. But, yeah, dude, what else is there to say? So he's like, what am I talking about that? My foot is a balloon. My foot was a balloon. And there you go. He controls the news cycle, and we move right along, dude. It's like, I don't know. Seems like a pretty notable story to me. At least I assume that's what he's doing.